We're here, the final day, day 8 of the Festive 500. We're into bonus time now. I got the kilometers yesterday. Today I'm just undoing the virtual Ks, so I need 33 Ks tonight to make up for the 64 Ks that I did on Zwift on Christmas Day. I have nothing against virtual kilometers for this competition, or sorry, this challenge, but I needed to set myself a goal for today or else I just couldn't ride. I have company tonight, Dr. Slane. He's paying a visit. He's now up the road a little bit. I'll catch up to him in a moment. And we'll catch up with Slane later on. But today's video, I want to have a chat about the Hammerhead Karoo 2, which also relates to the Karoo. Quite a popular unit for cyclists. I'd say for the more enthusiast cyclists or the techie cyclists, as it's not a major brand that people know about. But there's a few things we need to talk about with the Karoo. Not a full-blown review. Again, as is the theme with these videos, I'm just clearing off my list of things that I should have talked about a while ago that have been on my list, and these rides and chat sessions that we're having gives me opportunity to do that. Just kicking off with the Hammerhead Karoo 2 and Karoo 1. The user interface, a lot of people love the user interface, and the reason being is it's an Android phone, effectively. So if you can work your way around any sort of newer mobile phone, you can work your way around the Karoo for configuration, no problems whatsoever. So if you've gone from what's arguably a clunky setup on Garmin's, you might just love the Karoo setup. Related to that is that there is no configuration app for the Karoo. There's no companion app. There's no app you need to load on your mobile phone to connect to the Karoo. It's all self-contained. So that's, is it an upside or is it a downside, depending on what you like to configure things, or how you like to configure things. But that's a significant difference with this compared to the two other major players, those being Garmin and Wahoo, both having configuration apps. There is pluses and minuses to that, but it's something to be aware of with the Karoo. All right. Woof. Okay, so as I'm getting hassled by dogs, I'll chase down Slane. I'll be back in a moment to continue my discussion about the Karoo 2 and the web interface slash dashboard. All right, I've got to catch Slane. So the next thing to consider when looking at what head unit to buy and evaluating all your options is not just the hardware itself of what you're getting. It's also the web dashboards and the connected services. The Karoo comes with the Hammerhead Dashboard, which is, to be honest, very, very basic. There's no ride analytics, there's no fitness tracking, there's no history reporting. It's very basic. You can click on your rides and have a look through the basics of things. You can create routes. The route creator isn't too bad. It does the job, and once created, it syncs straight to your unit once you turn that on and it syncs up, so that's pretty cool. But if you're comparing it to Garmin Connect, not even close. Not even close. Now, is that a factor that people need to be concerned about? Nah. If you're using Strava, you probably get the same out of Strava for analytics or training peaks or today's plan. But it's something to take into account, and that is the user dashboard, which isn't just about the hardware that you're buying. So check out what's available on their dashboard. If you're you're used to using Garmin Connect, it's a bit of a change, and there is no ability to sync your Hammerhead to Garmin Connect officially. Kind of makes sense. Garmin Connect is quite extensive, and I'd have to say unparalleled for any other head unit for an associated web service for the device. And if Garmin were just giving that away for free for anyone, then yeah. It's surprised me that Garmin hasn't turned that into a subscription service for other units to make up where they fall down a bit. And in this area, the Karoo does. But it's not all bad. Oh, it might be. We'll be back next with an associated issue that I have with this unit. Now here's a big one for me, and that is with the support for electronic shifting systems. Now a few reviews, printed reviews, have said the Karoos will fully support Di2, ETAP, Campagnolo, etc. Fully support's not quite how it goes. Truth being is that support for gear shifting systems is only for display. It just displays your gearing system. It doesn't record any of this information whatsoever. Gears. Oh, you probably can't see that, I apologise. But you can show the gears on screen. Which gear you're in, gearing information, number of shifts, etc. The Garmin's will record all of that information. The amount of shifts, what gear you're in, duration of gear, etc. It records all that into the fit file, and then with that goes up to the SRAM AXS Web, which is SRAM's, technically it's Strava for your equipment. It's a way to track everything for your SRAM gear. That's not possible with the Karoo, or the Karoo 2. It doesn't record that data, rendering SRAM web access effectively useless if you have a Karoo or a Karoo 2. Now, these issues I'm talking about tonight can be fixed in software. These are all non-new issues. These have all been discussed in their forums multiple times. What I'm doing is just highlighting a few of the things that you need to know about, and you will not be told if you were to be on the cutting edge of technology buying all this new tech. Now, what I mean by that is, and here's a hypothetical. Let's say you were to buy a brand new ETAP Access bike. Awesome. New bike, latest group set. You were to buy the Garmin Rally pedals, or the Shrivera Aciomas that have cycling dynamics. Cool. Then you were to buy some TyreWiz that tell you your tire pressures in real time, like I have on this bike now. Cool. And then you would have finished it off by having a core body temperature sensor. By core, which all the new pro teams, or all the pro teams are now using in training and racing, and we're seeing that quite a bit. So there's a scenario of all the new equipment that you've got. It's a pretty nice little setup. And then you go buy the Karoo 2. You go to hook it all up, and here is where things come undone. No access to SRAM Web. No access to SRAM AXS Web. So you can't record any of your gearing information and utilize that service with your new group set. Your cycling dynamics that's coming from your rallies, vectors, or your Shrivera, that data's not recorded either, not supported. You get torque effectiveness and pedal smoothness, but you won't get the full suite of cycling dynamics. Pedal phase and PCO being some of those values that you can get from those pedals. Secondly, your TyreWizes just don't work. You simply can't even see your TyreWizes. Or secondly, or thirdly, I've lost count. And lastly, your body temperature sensor doesn't work either, because it's not supported. There's a hypothetical scenario, and maybe you're thinking, Lama, you've just cherry-picked everything. You're being a dick. It's everything I've got on the bike. SRAM AXS. Aciomas with cycling dynamics, TyreWiz's, core temperature sensor, and none of it works! Well, none of it pairs and properly records with the Karoo too. Again, these have been brought up with the team. I've read the forums, it's all there. It's now time for me to turn the screws on that and say, come on guys, you've got to meet at least the standards of the other companies that are making head units for it to be a true competitor for the data nerds. And it would break my heart as someone who promotes tech and cycling and just enjoying life with all this new stuff out in the open, for someone to go and buy what we've been talking about and to encounter that scenario and go, that's not good enough, that's not good enough. And as I said, you're not going to get that in the sales manuals or the, so just do be aware. There's a few things that the other units do very well that the Karoo does not do well at this point in time. Fingers crossed, these things can be solved in software. I know they can, including the dashboard and the analytics and things like that. So do be aware, there are a few of the things that aren't going to work as of right now. You're probably watching this in 2022, so that's the future. It's the last few hours of 2021. Anyhow, with that said, Slane's gone. I've got to go chase him. We'll be back to wrap this one up in just a moment and then have a chat to Slane. Now I know Hammerhead Karoo users are a passionate bunch. I'm part of the forums, I see the posts, so I'm not here making this to criticize the unit. I'm making a video about the unit so we can all have a better unit on the front of our bikes, because I know it can be done. So again, don't take this as just straight out criticism, be done with it. It's just some observations of things that I'd love to see, and I'm sure a lot of other people agree. I know they do, it's in the forums. So finally, onto one other thing I'd love to see on the Karoo, again that is on other units. This may already be on the Karoo, but not there by default, and I haven't found it. And that is, when you swipe across screens, I want it to represent swiping across the screen, so it folds across or swipes. At the moment, it just instantly changes. You're not quite sure whether you've swiped it correctly or you've swiped the wrong way. I'd love it to just transition between pages so you know which way you've gone when you actually press the button. On top of that, one extra thing, down the bottom of the screen, when you do transition a screen, to give you an indication of how many screens you do have. Again, referring back to the Garmin that do it oh so well, you have tabs along the bottom indicating that you're like 4 or 5 screens in, and the next push or swipe. What? You're not interested in the Karoo? Oh, come on, guys. Ah, oh, tough crowd. So if down the bottom, when you're swiping, it can say, you know, you're on page 1, 2, 3, and the next will take you back to page 0. That would be brilliant. So there's my list of things that we need to discuss about the Karoo. I'll put them in the notes below. Again, this is not just a bitch and moan because I can. This is I think they can do it better, and I think it's possible to do better with the current hardware. Now, given they update every 2 weeks, I have no doubt some of these topics that I've brought up will be addressed, fingers crossed, in 2022, which starts in about 4 hours from now. We better get home. Anyhow, let's go have a chat to Slane. He's with me on the ride, putting up with me dropping back to talk to you guys about a tech topic as we're out here rocking out the Ks. Oh, and As I said yesterday about the screen on the Karoo, when the sun is straight above, well, when the sun's at about 90 degrees that way, the screen on the Karoo is brilliant. That's magnificent. Okay, as we roll over my 32 Ks, that's it. I've nullified my virtual Ks for the Festive 500, so all of them have been outdoors. Well, 500 of them anyway. So Slane,
yo,
how's your Festive 500 going? How far are you off?
I think by the time we get home, I'm still going to be about 30 Ks short. But you know what? I really don't give a big flying heck.
Slane's deep in training for the Nationals TT, the Nationals Masters TT in a few days. So
this is actually my third ride today. I rode the TT course flat out, then rode the road course for a few laps behind the motorbike, and tonight seemed like a too good opportunity to miss up because it's beautiful.
It's nice out here. Even the sheep, actually the sheep didn't agree, they were running away from us. Now,
men with moustaches you need to be wary of.
Yeah, that stash is, it suits you though.
Thanks.
So I think we'll give Slane...
Thanks, honey.
I think we'll give Slane a leave pass for the Festive 500. If you've watched my previous video with Slane, Slane did the Festive 500 in one day and then kept riding and did it again the next day for the Mallee Blast 1000. So Slane, I'll give you a credit for that, and I'll give you a credit for next year.
It's actually a change in perspective, because I remember years ago when I used to do the Festive 500 and be competitive to like get it done in 2 days.
Yeah.
And there's always these crazy buggers. I think they were like in Singapore or something, and they do it all in a day.
Yeah.
I was like, how does anyone do that? And then all of a sudden I turned into Mr. Ultra Endurance, and I'm doing it in 22 hours on a gravel bike.
Phenomenal. So I think everyone will agree. Slane has 2 credits. He'll use one up this year, he can use one next year. But 2023.
Train.
Yeah, train.
Choo choo.
It's a very rare sight out here. I think we're
Hey!
we got a toot. Oh, that's special. We also got a car back. See, radars. We're celebrating trains. Cars are back. We're both running radars tonight. So there's one thing with the radars. Again, that alerted us on a dead quiet road. Didn't expect anyone to be out here. No problems at all. But also acknowledging the driver behind. I try and do that where I can to let them know that I know that they're there. As a driver, I'm always a bit nervous around cyclists, even though I know how cyclists operate, most of them. Sheep, good evening. Noisy buggers. To turn around and give a driver an acknowledgement that, hey, you know you're there, or that you know they're there, you're over. I so often then get a wave back or a thanks or a toot, or the other day I got a big thumbs up from a driver going past in the middle of nowhere. That alone changes the game with the radar. I cannot sing the praises enough. And Slane's the same. He hasn't heard anything I've just said. Slane, Firmware radar, must have out here for that kind of thing.
Everyone should have got one for Christmas. Makes me feel safer.
Oh, look at that. These rabbits are so fast around here.
Whoa.
Oh, geez, rumble strips. Ready? Bottles are still there. Thermal bottles tonight from Elite because it's quite warm. All right, back on the gravel. Look, I'll let Slane go ahead as I sign off.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year from Slane, Happy New Year from me. That's been 8 videos in a row, which I think is a record for my channel for a very, very long time. Again, I appreciate everybody coming along for the journeys that I've had, riding by myself on Zwift and with Slane tonight, showcasing the beautiful weather we've had, Today was another hot day, but we're out at night, so it's actually perfect. I just made that up. And I hit a milestone of these videos. Before even uploading this, I've had over 100,000 views of my Festive 500 series. I'm really happy with that. I just switched the camera on, as I said, low production, allowed me to get some time on the bike, time with the family, because of the quick production of these. So thank you for the views, the comments, and let me know how your Festive 500 went. This has all been about me. Let's make it about you. Let me know in the comments. Did you get it done? How far were you off? Did you do the Festive run? Hey, son, did you know people were doing the run 100? The Festive run 100?
Is that a thing?
I could not even consider running a kilometre.
It's like 15 Ks a day, is it?
Oh, I can't do the math. It's too late in the day. It's too late in the year. So with that, we'll sign off. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll be back again next year, which is in about 2 hours' time. And we'll bring this guy along for a couple of videos too.
I'll be back.
All right. Happy New Year, everyone. See you soon.